What's up guys, Adam here, and I wanted to put out a video for you guys explaining the top 10 things you should not do at Christmas dinner. Because it's finally Christmas break, it's the time where we all get to go home, we can hang out with family, hang out with friends, catch up, hang out, do whatever you want to do. If you're me, then you're just gonna play video games and guitar, but anyway, here's your top 10 list of things to not do. Listen up. Number 10, don't have a nervous breakdown. I know it's a little hard sometimes, but if you have a nervous breakdown, everything's going to be a lot harder. So just take a moment, deep breaths, count to 10, count down from 10, count back up to 10, back down to 10. Find a way to calm down, because if you don't, it's going to be a lot worse for you, I promise. So just realize that everything's going to work out in the end, no matter how many horror stories your grandfather tells or, the messed up opinions of your aunt. It'll work out. Just give it a chance. Number 9, be nice. I know it sounds a little, common sense, but if you don't start an argument, then maybe they won't start an argument. And if you're respectful to someone, then they'll be respectful to you. What goes around comes around. So if you're nice to them, then maybe they won't be rude or counter your arguments because you don't give them a reason to. Number 8, avoid the argument in the first place. Another one that's kind of like, well, duh. Just hear me out on this one. If you avoid the argument in the first place, then there's no reason to be upset about it. And this can be as simple as if somebody brings something up, just brush it off. It never happened. Likewise, if somebody brings something up that you don't like and you try to counter them and they keep going, just let it go. It's all right. You don't have to spark a war out of a simple battle. And if there's one thing that I personally have learned, is that if you know you're not going to win an argument, even if you're right, it's better off just not to join it, because then you can't be wrong. Number 7, save the I told you so speech and just move on. Now this goes with my last one in the just move on section, but save the I told you so speech is in when you're arguing with someone and you prove that they are wrong, don't keep it going. Once they realize that they've made the mistake, it's over. Just let it go, because the sooner you do it, the sooner they can do it, and you're all more better off. Number 6, don't be that one guy. Now, this one's just kind of all over the place, and it's a very broad statement, but here's the basics of it. Don't be that guy that goes, I don't really like this, so, yeah, I'm gonna go down the street and get some pizza or something, Give it a chance. Understand that everybody has different views, and don't be that one guy that brings up the problems in the first place, because if you don't bring up a problem, there's going to be less problems to begin with, less problems to end with, and overall a much smoother time and better off for everyone. Number 5, don't let it be known that you're bored. Now, I know this is hard to do sometimes, and this kind of goes with that. You open the present, you're like, oh yeah, and then you pull it out and you're like, I didn't ask for this. This isn't, I haven't been into that cartoon for 7 years now. But just hear me out. If you don't show that you're bored, that's one less argument that there's going to be. And do you really want to make someone feel guilty for having something that's not entertaining you? Because their whole point is putting together the dinner, planning whatever events they have, getting you the presents, is to try and make you happy. So even if you're faking it, if they're happy, everyone's happy. And if you're not happy, pretend that you are. Number 4, don't bring up the bad news. I know it's, kind of hard sometimes when you're going through something that just be like, I don't really want to talk about it, it's fine, don't worry about it. But if you bring up bad news at a dinner that's supposed to be celebrating the good times and love and all that fun jazz, it's not a good idea, Just steer clear of saying the bad news. Save it until a later time, because chances are it's going to get better in time anyway. And the other factor is that you really don't want to bring up something like that at something that's supposed to be joyful, because then you bring everybody down, and that's not good. I understand that you might be going through something and it's really bearing down on you, but don't be the one to put the weight on other people's shoulders, and hopefully they won't either. Number 3, put down that cell phone. Okay, so this one's kind of become a major problem within recent times with our generation and all the cell phones and technology that we have, the laptops, the tablets, smartphones, flip phones. But seriously though, just put it down, put it in your pocket, just put it on the table face down. Don't touch it, no matter what. Because this is supposed to be a time when you're with family. And if you have that cell phone in your hands, it's taking away from the time with family. And also, it kind of shows that you're not really interested, which goes back to that don't show that you're bored thing. As long as they think you're having fun, they're better off. And, even if you're not having fun, it'll be over eventually, right? So just put down the cell phone, just relax. I understand we can't part with our technology for more than 5 seconds. But seriously, it's for the better good that you just put it down, let it go. And trust me, you might have a little more fun when you're actually paying attention, and you might realize some of the things that you haven't noticed before because you had your nose buried in the phone. Number 2, have some topic changing plans ready. See, when things don't go the right way and they just keep going, have a backup plan. Have something that you can bring up that's like, hey, what about this, I understand that they have really strong political views, but if you take those views and push them the other way and bring up a completely different topic from politics, then maybe you can get somebody else on board with you, and then somebody will get on board with them, and eventually you're all in the same boat once again, instead of being split. That being said, don't come up with another topic that's going to be controversial, because that's accomplishing absolutely nothing, and you're making yourself the bad guy. And I'm trying to make sure you're not the bad guy, so keep that one in mind. Come up with some topics beforehand. No, you probably can't write them down, but you can have them in mind, or at least a simple idea that will help you when you're trying to come up with something to bring their thoughts away from what you're talking about right now. Number 1, remember why you're there and who you're there with. This one's really simple. When it comes down to it, the reason for the season is love, being with the family, being with people that you care about, and just having fun, When it comes right down to it, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It doesn't matter what's going on in your personal lives, because all that matters right there is the moment where you guys are together for your Christmas dinner, for your Christmas gathering, whatever you want to call it, where you're giving out the presents, you're just hanging out with people that you care about. That's all that really matters. So that goes in with everything else. You put down the cell phone, just, let the arguments go. You're going to be better off in the end. So I hope you take my advice. It might not be the best, but it'll kind of help you steer clear of some problems. Christmas dinner and Christmas time can be hard for everyone. Just remember, it's a little bit less hard if you have a plan.